Thank you, Aaron. Now please welcome Jonel Clemena.
Good afternoon. I'd like to start off by congratulating our graduating class of 2021. Despite all the academic and personal struggles we've encountered and the fear and uncertainty during this pandemic, we have proved that persistence pays off. By persevering through the things we deemed as impossible, we now know that anything is possible. It is with great relief and pride that I can say we finally made it. Before I get into how this is just the closing chapter to the prequel on our lives, I'd like to first take a moment to thank everyone for joining us here today. Whether online or here in the actual stadium, welcome and thank you for all of your support. To our esteemed district board members and our incredible teachers and faculty, I'd like to sincerely thank you for working hard to organize today's event and contributing to make a physical graduation possible. As Tony previously stated, my name is Jonel Clemena, and it's an honor to be speaking at today's graduation. Each and every one of us carries a story. Some stories leave heavier and messier markings, while others leave behind lighter, clear-cut trails. No matter your story, you made it. We've all made it. All of our hard work has paid off, and I'm really glad we can graduate and embark on the start of a new journey together. Just like most of you here, my high school experience wasn't the greatest. And when I was in middle school, I looked forward to starting high school. There were so many things I wanted to do, and I held my expectations of myself high. As a result of that pressure, I eventually found my self-esteem deteriorating with each goal I didn't meet. This continued to break me down until I found myself avoiding school entirely, in fear of failing. Every time I would walk to my English class and step a foot inside, I'd get panic attacks, which never really happened before. I started attending therapy where my therapist issued a 5-of-4 plan for me. Even then, the fear and the feeling of being a burden or a disappointment left me glued to my bed for a month. Then I was transferred to the Independent Studies program for the next semester. I loved that program. There, I could work at my own pace. All the teachers there were nice and good-hearted, but the program only worked for me temporarily. I couldn't adjust to the lack of socialization and the absence of physical lessons taught step by step by teachers. I worked hard to get as much work completed as possible, but I was still behind in credits when compared to my peers, and from there, my anxiety worsened. Then came my junior year, when I told myself that I would try to start doing more to get out of my shell. I was able to join theater while still being in the Independent Studies program, and I enjoyed that very much. Being able to participate in an activity I used to love made me excited and happy. It gave me a reason to look forward to going to school each day, a reason to fight my anxiety. I was trying my best, but nothing turned out the way I'd planned. I'd physically shake when performing, unlike my other classmates, and I would have to sit in one corner for 3 quarters, overthinking my interactions with others. My mental state would constantly fluctuate. I could be really happy, then anxious the next at just one word. So when the pandemic started and everything shifted to virtual learning, I had a new, more difficult challenge in dealing with the change. The social interactions that I hoped for wouldn't happen, and I felt like I failed. As a result, I stayed in my room for a whole month and completely tuned everything out. I even stopped using social media. Mentally, I beat myself up for not attending school, and I still couldn't bring myself to properly communicate my feelings to anyone. I felt like I was spiraling downward until the 2020 school year ended, and I ended up at Gilbert High School. It hurt me to have my family worry about me, so I took summer break before senior year to build myself again, to replenish my energy and replace all the negativity with better memories. I returned to social media and reconnected with my friends, and spent the rest of vacation bonding with my family before starting my senior year at Gilbert. I've only been at Gilbert for this year, and I've never once set foot in an actual classroom on campus, but I can genuinely say that I'm proud to be able to graduate from here. As cliche as it may seem, if I didn't have the support of my friends, family, and teachers this year, I would have been extremely lost. Throughout this year, there were many more hardships. In December, my family contracted COVID-19. I was really worried. Although I was struggling with school and stressing out about my future, I wanted my family to know that everything would be okay. My aunt and uncle, who are second parents to me, were sick with COVID. In addition to that, my mom was feeling even more sick. She had been my dad's full-time caretaker for years, so I worried that the virus would leave them bedridden. Despite the amount of stress from school, I pulled it together to help in my own way. I prepared, washed, and cut bowls of fruit for them to eat. I would help them with getting small things they needed around the house. Since most of my family members were sick, I also had to step in to help my sister take care of her baby. Balancing life with schoolwork wasn't easy. We couldn't celebrate the holidays together either, as everyone had to self-quarantine. It felt the year was going to come to an end on a rather gloomy note. Then it got even worse. On New Year's, my brother's birthday, my dad suddenly passed away. Life seemed so unfair. The very thing I dreaded since I became conscious that life was short happened. I was so mad at myself for limiting my interactions with my dad over fear of losing him. Then he was gone, and my world literally stopped abruptly. I was forced to find a way to continue. I logged back into my classes and acted the same way as before, cheery, giving my teachers my usual grading, fooling myself into believing everything was okay. It took me weeks to finally tell one of my teachers what happened over vacation. With all of the support I received, I was able to make it through and stand before you all and tell my story. I am truly grateful to all the teachers and staff who have helped me throughout the year. Without your support, I might not be here today delivering this speech. I'd like to especially thank Mr. Cowan for bringing light to my days with his unique teaching and youthful personality, Mrs. Mason for being understanding, encouraging, and willing to help when I needed it most, Mrs. Schofield for listening to my story and giving me resources that I could refer to, and Mr. Duchesne for checking in with me on a daily basis and making sure that everyone in class was given the support they needed. All of you helped me in achieving my goal of graduating. Thank you. Most of all, I'd like to thank my mom for staying strong despite how hard life has been. Thank you for giving me strength to keep going by setting an example. As for Papa, I hope you hear this up in heaven. Your big baby is graduating now. And although I'm scared and nervous about speaking today, both of you are the reason I pushed myself and worked really hard. I really wanted you both to see me graduate. I hope you have a good view, Papa. I love and miss you until we meet again. To my graduating class of 2021, we can now officially say that we made it. Look at all of us, with our blue caps and gowns on, all of us who carry with us our own circumstances, stories, and burdens. We made it, and I'm so proud of us for getting here. Remember the lessons you learned along the way. Life will never be easy, and there are bound to be many more bumps down the road. This is just the beginning of our adulthood. There may be times you feel alone, but believe me, you must continue to persist and keep going. Your future is important, and no one will know what's best for you except you. Remember to use your past experiences as lessons to further improve yourself, and don't let your insecurities or anxiety hold you back like it did to me. Learn to be kind to yourself about mistakes you make. We need to make mistakes in order to develop and grow. Keep pushing yourself, but also care for yourself like you do your friends and family. And it's okay to be unsure of what you want to do in your future. It's okay to learn at a shorter pace than others. We all learn differently, and baby steps are still an improvement. Before I finish and we all go our separate ways, I want to wish all of you good luck. Whether your plan is to go straight to college or university, start working immediately, or take some time to figure everything out. We all got this. Congratulations again, everyone, and thank you for listening.